Steve Mills here. Welcome. Welcome to the Results Mastery podcast. I'm recording this on my podcast. I'm also recording it, streaming it on YouTube. So it's great to have you here. Thank you for your time. We actually get around about 7,000 views every time we do this, which just I find remarkable. And I sincerely thank you for your interest in the podcast. Most of that comes from websites like Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and some of the great big sites there are out there. And, it's great to be part of that sort of network of people interested in business and growing their business. If you're not already signed up or subscribed to my podcast, then I strongly recommend you do that. And if you're watching over on YouTube, then again, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And somewhere on there, you'll find a link to my podcast so you can listen to me on audio when you're driving along in the car, as well as perhaps listening to future YouTube videos. I try to do at least I'd say one a week, but in reality, it's probably more like two or three a week, to be honest. I like to, when I come up with an idea, to share it with people. I've been doing this now for 30 years helping people. Actually, on the 1st of May, 2025, it will be 30 years. So it's just about there. And that just amazes me, actually. That I've managed to keep going for that long. It's quite an achievement, really, if you think about it, especially when you consider that 8 out of 10 businesses that start every year have gone bust within 5 years. And that's an alarming statistic, and one that I learned back years ago. And I just sort of thought, well, my mission's got to be about helping those people, helping people to not go bust, to thrive rather than to struggle away. I actually believe that, whilst, that's a terrible statistic and a lot of people are going bust, the truth of the matter is a lot of people, even more in terms of ongoing. You start off and you struggle away at first. That's pretty evident, but then you grow a little bit and you're just about earning enough money to keep going. It's almost like the businesses that don't fold within 5 years. Let's say the remaining 20%, I'd say a good 19 or 19.5% of those are just about paying their way. They're paying their bills. They're maybe making enough money for the owner of the business to have a reasonable life, and so on and so forth. But the truth of the matter is they're not really achieving anything like the results that they could achieve. Why is that? Well, if you think about it, if you think about business, what's business about? Ultimately, it's about making a profit. You need to make a profit so that you can invest some more of that money into the business and use the rest of it for the stuff that you want, whether that's giving to the church, going on holiday, traveling the world, buying new cars and houses and things and so on and so forth. No matter what it is, it's about profit. And there are only two ways of making more profit. One is to reduce costs, and number two is to increase sales. So if you're going to achieve that, if you're going to become better at reducing costs, what that means is you're probably going to have to be better on the financial side of your business. Because as Michael Gerber says in his book, The E-Myth, most businesses don't work because of what he calls operational expertise. In other words, most business owners are really good operationally at doing the work. So the garage mechanic has been doing, repairing cars for 20 years. He opens his own garage and he goes to work in that business repairing cars. He's not got time to think about finance and how much profit he's making. And he wakes up at the end of the year realizing he's, either broken even, or he's just about made enough money, or actually is in debt. And The same is true for this mechanic who's been busy, but he's not really been profitable, and therefore his marketing has been suffering. It's not been working as well as it could have. He's not been maybe pricing his business correctly. He's not been branding his business correctly, and so on and so forth. And so, my message, I suppose, in this podcast is to become better at the financial side and become better at the marketing side of your business. So, this podcast is actually called Why Small Business Marketing Does Not Work and What to Do About It. Why it doesn't work. Now, clearly, there are many reasons for this. There are many reasons why your marketing, the marketing of other businesses, does not work. And I'm going to come up with, well, I have come up with, you probably see me looking down here. I've come up with seven, and there are more, let's just say that. But I think these are pretty much the biggest seven that I could think of when I sort of thought about what I'm going to do and talk about in this podcast. So here we go. Firstly, um, it simply doesn't get done. And I'm talking about marketing here. So the number one reason in many, many occasions is it don't get done. People have plans. People say, "Oh, I'm going to get a new website. Yeah, I'm going to do email marketing, I'm going to set up advertising on Facebook or YouTube." Search engine optimization. Yeah, I'm gonna do that as well. Do you know what? It's a little bit like the gym. You know, people join the gym and they're gonna go down there 3 times a week. They go down there a couple of times and then they're not seen for 6 months, even though they're paying their £50 a month. They still don't go down there. And how true is that? We all know somebody, if not ourselves, who've done that. So that's my number one reason. My number two is it's not done enough. Right. So people say to me all the time, I speak to business owners, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, Steve. Yeah, yeah." And I'll say, "Right, what's your strategy? What do you do on LinkedIn?" "Oh, well, I post on there once a week." Well, you don't want to bombard people, do you, Steve? And so I post on there once a week, and I've got a company page, and that's about it, really. And the truth of the matter is that that's like the person who goes to the gym, he does 10 curls, and then he thinks, right, that's it, I'm fit enough now, I don't need to do that anymore. So, in other words, it's just not enough. It's the same as the guy who says, "Yeah, we do email marketing, Steve. Yeah, yeah. We send out a quarterly newsletter." It's like, give me a break. Quarterly newsletter. How are you going to build a relationship to get people to a level where they know, like, and trust you? Doing a quarterly newsletter. They won't even remember you. They probably think, "What's this person sending me a newsletter? I've never signed up for this." Actually, you did sign up for it, but it was 90 days ago and you don't even remember. So, basically, you need to do more. You need to put more time, money. Yeah, I know I said the M word there. Yeah, but you need to put money into marketing. And a lot of people in this modern digital world where we can do things for free, don't put enough money into it. And we need to then put enough time into it. Marketing's often done on the second Thursday of every week when we've got an hour spare, and that ain't good enough. We need to put time into it on a regular basis. So that's number two. Number three is I know this sounds awful and I'm going to try and say this as nicely as I can, but it's done by people who don't know what they're doing. And when I say that, I'm talking about you, probably. If you want a better business, you've got to become a better business owner. You need to become better at selling and marketing. Because if you're doing this stuff and you're actually carrying it out and it's not working, then why is it not working? It's not working because what you're doing is not good enough. It's not right. It's not working. You with me? Let me give you an example again. So, take LinkedIn. A lot of people do put a fair amount of time into LinkedIn, but they put the time into doing things like posting. They think, right, okay, instead of posting once a week, I'm going to post 3 times a day. And they churn this stuff out, and often it's in long text. It's like a load of writing. It takes them half an hour to an hour to write it. Then they get it proofread, and so on and so forth. And that's great, but it's not winning them any business. They're putting a load of time and effort in, or maybe they're even doing advertising and putting money in as well, and it's simply not working. So what's the answer to that? Well, the answer is, for a lot of people, they go, well, LinkedIn's a waste of time. I'm going to go and do Facebook. That's the thing for me. And then 3 weeks later, they go, this Facebook thing's just not working. I don't know what it is. So I'm going to go and do TikTok. TikTok videos. That's the thing now. That's the latest thing. Let's go and do a load of videos on TikTok. And so they behave like little butterflies, flittering from one thing to another, finding another thing that doesn't work, and then blaming it on that thing. Blaming LinkedIn don't work, Facebook don't work, SEO don't work, Google Ads don't work, and so on. Now, the truth of the matter is that all, and I'm going to say this again, all marketing works. Everything. Everything works. The trouble is it doesn't work all the time. And it's much easier to find a way of marketing your business that doesn't work than it is finding a way of marketing your business that does work. Why is that? It's lack of expertise. I'm here and I can tell you, for the last 30 years, I've been learning from the best marketing experts in the world. I've studied them. I've read their books. I've been on their seminars. I've listened to their podcasts. I've watched their videos. I've read their articles. The best in the world. And I still get it wrong sometimes. But I'm much more likely to get it right with respect than you are, because you're at best a part-time person in your marketing. What you are probably is someone that's never done much marketing training in their lives. They invest a little bit of time and money in marketing and live their lives at a level that is nowhere near the true potential that it would be if they became really good at marketing. And that's the truth. So, you know, not enough's done, nothing's done at all. And the third one was done by people who don't know what to do. And by the way, it could be that you're outsourcing your marketing to people who don't know what to do either. In my profession, you get a lot of people come from big company world. They work for, I don't know, Vodafone or something, as a director of marketing. They then set up their own consultancy, providing advice to small businesses. And those two worlds could not be further apart. I'm not an expert in big corporate businesses. I'm not. I'm an expert in working with small businesses, one person businesses, businesses up to about 10 million turnover. But most of my clients are nowhere near that. And I specialize in that area. So, really important, I think, to specialize. Um, Next one, number 4. Yeah, I've written down here, don't do too many different things. This again is a big area. It's like, let's look at it from a sports background. Let's say I'm a young man, I'm like 13, and I'm thinking, do you know what? I love sport. I'm good at football, I'm good at cricket, I'm good at tennis, I'm pretty good at golf, I'm good at badminton, I'm good at table tennis, I'm good at, I don't know, I'm pretty good runner, and I'm good at high jump, and I'm good at basketball. if you're a natural sportsman, sometimes you're good at all these things. And what happens with natural sports people often is because they're good at loads of things, they finish up not very good at any of them. And what I mean by that, they never get to that elite level. I was the opposite of that. Some of you may know that I used to play table tennis at international level. And people say to me, "Why did you pick table tennis?" That's because I was rubbish at football. And the truth of the matter is, I was rubbish at most sports. In fact, I'm going to say just about all sports other than table tennis. I could play table tennis. I could play tennis a bit as well, actually, but certainly table tennis was the sport that I selected and got good at and trained hard at. And it's the same at marketing. So think about do you like LinkedIn? Do you like Facebook? Do you find it easier to do email marketing? Would you prefer to run your own networking group and stand up in front of people and eat lots of breakfasts and stuff like that? And I'm not saying you should just do that one thing. It's not quite like sport. But what I am saying is, let's get good at one thing and then go and get good at two things and then three things and then four things. Whereas if you try to get good at 10 things all at once, you probably find you're not going to get very good at any of them. Does that make sense? I'm hallucinating that you're saying, yes, it does, Steve. Okay, so not too many different things. Next one, settling on average. Settling on average, being average. If I asked you if you're poor at something, you're not very good at something, what sort of rewards do we get for being poor? Well, we don't get poor rewards, we get pain. We go out of business. If we're poor in our health, there are dire consequences. We can die. If we're poor in our relationships, that person's probably not going to stay around too long. So poor is pain. Let's say we take a massive leap up a scale to something called good, where I believe most people are. Most people are good people. They put a bit of effort into their fitness, they put a bit of effort into their marketing, they're okay in their relationships, and the rewards that they get for being average, I believe, are pretty poor. Most people, you only need to walk down the street and see that most people's health and fitness is not very good. It's poor. You can see that by looking at them. You examine the divorce statistics, and I think it's 2 out of 3 marriages now end in divorce. Now, you look at business and you know that 80% of businesses fail within 5 years, because I told you that a few minutes ago. So, in all those 3 areas, being average, being okay, being good is not where you want to be. You want to be at least at a level which is way above good, called excellent. Right? When you're excellent, what sort of rewards do we get for being excellent? Well, we get sort of good rewards. We do quite well. I'm in the top 10%. I'm doing quite well. I'm maybe growing my business. I'm doing okay. My marketing's working, or at least some of it is. But it's quite annoying. And I'm here to tell you that the real benefit is if poor's down here, good's here, excellent is up here. If you can get to that level just above that, which is called outstanding, when you stand out from your competition, right, that's where all the rewards are, when you stand out. Okay, so that's the level that I want you to be thinking about. What could I do to stand out from the competition, to be different? It's not that you need the best website or the best whatever. It's just you need to stand out. You need to be outstanding. Okay, so what can you do to do that? So that's something to think about, and perhaps have a conversation with me on a one-to-one basis about. Next one, and this is a big one. This probably should have been the first thing I wrote down, to be honest, and that is lack of management. Sorry, not management, lack of measurement, but management might come into that as well, actually. But lack of management. Yeah. Are you measuring what's working and what's not. Because if you're not, that's costing you money. I guarantee it. Most people, most businesses that I speak to, before they become clients of mine, they tell me things like, "Well, I say, well, where do you get most of your business from?" Well, I don't know. It's a bit of networking, and we get quite a bit of repeat business, and word of mouth. Word of mouth works well, and we do Facebook advertising, but I don't think we win much business from that. And we got a website, but we never win any business on there, or some version of that. Now that's okay, but it's not really. If I asked the head of marketing at Vodafone or Nike or Apple about their numbers, they'd be able to tell me exactly. They'd know exactly what their open rates are, what their average unit of sale is, how many people walked in their shop in a given month or year or day. They'd know them sales and marketing numbers without any shadow of a doubt. And so if they can do that, then why can't you? It's got to be much more difficult to do on that scale than it is on your scale. So we need to make sure, or you need to make sure, that you're measuring things. Now, to kick off, don't again measure 1,000 things. How many people click open your posts on LinkedIn. That's good to know, but let's just keep it simple. So you want to know how many leads you get, where those leads come from, how many people visit your website, how many people you've got in your databases. So you might have a LinkedIn database in a CRM system, hopefully. You might have a email database in a CRM system, and so on and so forth. Then the other things you need to know, it's all very well knowing how many leads you get, but how many of those leads turn into meetings, and how many of those meetings turn into sales? They're the real keys, okay? So make sure that you measure what you do. And lastly, poor use of technology. Even things like people say, "Oh yeah, I'm on Chat GPT." It's great, and it is great. But I'll guarantee, if you're on Chat GPT and you've never done any training on it, you've just gone on and used it because somebody's told you about it, you're probably using about 5% of it. The 95% of it that it will do, you don't even know about. So again, and of that, if you took Chat GPT as what you're doing as far as AI is concerned, again, you're missing out on 95% of some of the other technology that is just brilliant. And you need to start thinking about that and start using it. So that's about it. They're my 7 tips. They're my 7 reasons why I believe small business marketing doesn't work and what to do about it. If you want to know more from me, go to my website. It's on the wall behind me, results-mastery.com. Get yourself booked into a free one-to-one meeting where we can talk about your business, your marketing, and how to improve it. Thanks very much for listening. So, thank you for listening. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, and even more, if you've benefited from it and you'd like to know more, you'd like more of my help, and you'd like to benefit from my nearly 30 years of experience working with and learning from the leading experts in the world in the area of sales and marketing, then here's what you need to do next. You need to go to my website, which is results-mastery.com, and use the gold button to book yourself a meeting on a one-to-one basis with me. Thank you very much for listening again, and I look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. Thank you.